Okay. So we'll continue with Isopanishad. It's 11:30. I think who has joined now? Okay. So what does Prabhupada say about all paths leading to the same goal? Is it true that all paths lead to the same goal?
No, Prabhuji. Like Prabhupada has given an analogy, like if you take ticket to Calcutta, it will go to Calcutta only. It won't go to any other location.
Yes. So yato mat tato pat, something like that. That whatever you think, it will all is all same. That's not. If everything was everything anybody does, then why did Krishna speak the Bhagavad Gita? Then there's no need to read any book, nothing. Everything, whatever you do, will lead to the same goal. And there is no need to read Bhagavad Gita or any other book like that. So it is not true. And here in this verse, mantra number 13, Krishna is saying that one result is obtained if you worship Supreme, and another result is obtained if you worship the demigods or something else. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitrin vrataha. Bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhya jinopi mam. That's one verse. And then another verse, Krishna says, Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasham devan deva yajo yanti mad bhakta yanti mam. So he says those who worship devas will go to devas. Those who worship the ancestors will go to the ancestors, Pitra Lok. And those who worship the ghosts and spirits will stay with them. And those who worship me will come back to me. So there is different destinations. So that is what this verse is saying. And we were in the middle of the purport. So we'll continue from there. And I can share my screen here. Yeah. So before hearing the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was disturbed by the material whirlpool, by his affection for his family, society, and community.
We can't see your screen.
Oh, shared it. Yeah. So Arjuna, what was he disturbed by before hearing the Bhagavad Gita? I mean, he wanted to fight. He came with great enthusiasm to fight. And then we know when he saw Bhishma and Drona, he became completely nervous. So Prabhupada is saying before hearing the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was disturbed by the material whirlpool. But after hearing the Bhagavad Gita, he was not disturbed. He told Krishna that Nashta moha smritir labdva vad prasada maya achyuta gatosmi gatas sitosmi gata sandeha karishya vachanam tava. So he said, I am situated beyond all doubt. So before we hear Bhagavad Gita, then there are a lot of misconceptions and things like that. But when one hears the Bhagavad Gita, of course, he was a Kshatriya and he was refraining from doing his duty because of his family affection. So sometimes they say, right, to save a family, you can sacrifice some person. To save a village, you can sacrifice a family. To save a nation, you can sacrifice a village. And to save yourself, you can sacrifice everything. I think they say. To save yourself, you can sacrifice everything. Means Prabhupada said the highest realization is to save oneself. So we have to save ourselves. And we can Devarshi Bhutapta Nidam Pitrinam Na King Karonayam Rinicha Rajan Sarvatmana Yasharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukunda Pariritya Kartam. And anybody who takes shelter of Mukunda, then is no longer a debtor to anybody. To his family, to the great rishis and so many ancestors, to the demigods. So That is the thing. So for a higher cause, lower cause can be given up. So to connect with God, of course, the devotees, we are not bhajananandis. We connect with God, and then we also want to help others. But it is generally said we have to make our life perfect first. Janma sarthak kari karo, karo paro uppkar. So, so we also become a perfect by doing paro uppkar. When we do paro uppkar, automatically we also become purified because that is pleasing to Krishna. So when we distribute Krishna conscious literature or something like that, we are doing devotional service because Prabhupada wants it, and then we also become purified. So he was disturbed by all this family affection, and he could not. He gave so many reasons why he should not fight. One reason he was compassionate. Second reason was he was feeling that I will not have any enjoyment. If I kill all of them, it was all about him, right? Compassion, he was having compassion. Of course, he didn't want to cause suffering to others. Then he was thinking there'll be some sinful reactions. I will get some sin by killing my grandfather and guru. Then he was thinking, well, there'll be destruction of family tradition. All the values will be lost. If all the elders are killed in the family, then the family tradition will be lost. And then finally, he was indecisive. He did not know whether he should fight, he should not fight, what he should do. So he gave many arguments, but he was not able to make a conclusion. That's when he surrenders to Krishna. Karpanya dosho pahata supava, prichhami tvam dharma samuda cheta, yat shriya shan nishitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. I am your disciple, I am surrendered to you. Now you please tell me what I should do. I have given so many logical arguments why I should not fight. So we need guidance. We are perplexed in this material nature. So Arjuna wanted to become a philanthropic, non-violent man of the world. But when he became Buddha, by hearing the Vedic knowledge of Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Person, he changed his decision and became a worshipper of Lord Krishna, Shri Krishna, who had himself arranged the battle of Kurukshetra. So he became intelligent, Nashta Moha Shmitirlabhva. Okay. So he changed his decision, who had himself arranged the battle of Kurukshetra. Krishna also said, you just act as an instrument. I have arranged this battle. Everybody is going to die. Nimitta matra bhava savya sachin. You just become an instrument. So Arjuna worshipped the Lord by fighting. Generally, we don't worship the Lord by fighting. We worship the Lord with flowers. We worship the Lord by doing arti, offering prayers. But Prabhupada says Arjuna worshipped the Lord by fighting with his so-called relatives. And in this way, he became a pure devotee of the Lord. So, because he did Krishna's will, that is why he's glorified, right? He went against his own conditioning, but accepted Krishna's direction. So, whatever Krishna does, according to that, if we do, then we are pleasing Krishna, we become purified. Such accomplishments are possible only when worships the real Krishna and not some fabricated Krishna invaded by foolish men who are without knowledge of the intricacies of the science of Krishna described in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad. Even Prahlad Maharaj is putting a garland around Narsingadev, or he's bowing down to Narsingadev, who is the killer of his father. So, because, ultimately Krishna's will should prevail. And the Krishna's will comes through the pure devotee of the Lord. So pure devotee's will in our life, wherever we are, that should prevail. Srila Prabhupada's will should prevail, not my own. So Prabhupada would tell his disciples, go here, go there. In his life also, Prabhupada in his life also, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's will prevailed. He said, you go to the West and preach. And he did that. So this is the parampara. And then when he told other disciples, you go and go to Pakistan. So he went to Pakistan. So this is, even they may not like it. Prabhupada was saying, my Guru Maharaj gave me this order. I was thinking, how will I do it? But this is the parampara, right? So they're pushing. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur pushed Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada pushed all his disciples. And those disciples are now pushing their disciples. And in this way, it's like a train is moving. One bogie pulls the other, that bogie pulls the other, and then the train moves. So, so such accomplishments are possible only when worships the real Krishna, not some fabricated Krishna. Means we should understand Krishna from the pure devotee, not some mentally concocted according to our own version. Because who knows Krishna better than the pure devotee? So Krishna can be understood through the pure devotee. That's the real Krishna, and not some fabricated Krishna invented by foolish men who are without knowledge of the intricacies of the science of Krishna described in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So we don't hear spiritual knowledge from anybody and everybody. Avaishnava mukhotgirinam putam hari kathamritam shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochistam yathapaya. Sanatana Goswami says, one should not hear from the mouth of a Vaishnava. So, but we should hear in the disciplic succession. Okay, anybody has any comments on that one paragraph? So in the Sadhu Sangashtakam, which as Dravida Prabhu quotes it, which starts with 325, third canto, 25th chapter, verse number 20. In that, the qualities of a sadhu are described. And one quality is that, of course, it starts with the prasangamajaram pashamatmana kavayavidu. Saeva sadhu shakrita moksha dwaram apavritam. That attachment to the great devotees opens the door to liberation. Then what are the qualities of a sadhu? Titikshava karunika, surida sarvadehina, ajata shatrava shanta, sadhava sadhu bhushana. It is describing the qualities of a devotee. Who is a sadhu? He is tolerant, he is merciful, he is very peaceful, he is well-wisher to everybody, he doesn't consider anybody's enemy, and he follows the scriptural direction. And then in the next verse, it is said, which I'll share here. Kapila Dev tells Devahuti, his mother, Mai ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti ye dhridam mat krite tyakta karmanas tyaktva svajana bandhava. Such a sadhu engages in staunch devotional service to the Lord without deviation. Dhridavrata, dhridam. For the sake of the Lord, he renounces all other connections, such as family relationships and friendly acquaintances within this world, especially if they are not favorable. So Arjuna did that actually, because he was attached to his grandfather, Bhishma and Drona, his guru. But because they took the side of the opposing party, he killed them. Okay. So that's that purport. That's one. Anything on that if you want to say?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, I have one question.
Yeah.
So, what is the major difference between Vaishnava and Sadhu, Prabhu?
Same, it's Vaishnava. Vaishnava is a sadhu. Sadhu can be also an impersonalist. Sadhu means, actually the literal meaning of word sadhu, one who cuts like that, it is said. But sadhu means one who is devoted to Krishna. Krishna uses this term sadhu. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mamananya bhag sadhu reva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisa. In the 9th chapter, he says that even if one commits an abominable activity, but he is very staunchly situated in his determination to serve Krishna, he should be considered a sadhu. So sadhu means one who is staunchly devoted to serving Krishna. There are qualities of a sadhu or a Vaishnava. It's synonymous. But sadhu can also be somebody like who may not be Vaishnava, but he may be an impersonalist. They are also considered sadhu. So they are not attached to the personal form of the Lord, but they are free from the desires for sense gratification, like that. They also can be considered sadhus. But Vaishnava is kind of also includes all the sadhus. Right? Sadhu means saintly. So Vaishnavas are supposed to be saintly. Or if they are not, then they will become saintly. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nikachati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. If one sticks to devotional service, he may be doing some bad activities. But if he sticks and he repents his activities and he wants to correct, then he'll become sadhu. And he's to be considered a sadhu, and very soon he'll be corrected. So in the same, so here also sadhu is used in the sadhu sangashtakam. Tayete sadhava sadhvi. He calls his mother Sadhvi. Kapila Dev calls his mother Devahuti Sadhvi. Tayete sadhava sadhvi sarva sangha vivarjitah. Who are free from all contamination. Sarva sangha vivarjitah. Sangasteshvathate pararthya sangha dosha haraite. So here sadhava is sadhu is used as devotees. So devotees are automatically sadhus. But there are impersonalists also can be considered sadhus. So Vaishnava is more like, because they know the personal form of the Lord. Vishnu, right? Those who worship Vishnu are called Vaishnavas. Those who worship Krishna are called Karshnavas. And those who worship Radharani are called Gaudiyas. We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, right? Because we worship Radharani. And because Radharani likes Krishna, we also worship Krishna. So like that, one Acharya is saying like that. We are followers of Radharani, or we are worshippers of Radharani. Okay, so is that okay? Anyway, I said too much in response to a simple question, but
No, Prabhu, it's very elaborated. Thank you.
anybody else like to chime in and say something?
Yeah, as you read the qualities of sadhus, titikshava karunaga sudas, it says sadhava, sadhu bhushanam, these are the qualities of sadhu. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna eka sharanam, that is a main quality, right? You may be tolerant, you may be humble, but if you're not a devotee, you cannot stay like that forever, right? So sadhus, they may, like Durvasa Muni, he also gets angry sometime, right? Although he may be a devotee of Krishna, but the main thing is being a devotee of Krishna, then all other qualities will come automatically.
Good point, yeah. In the 13th chapter, verse 8 to 12, Krishna describes many qualities, 20 qualities. And he says, Prabhupada writes in the purport, he says, of all the 20 qualities, the most important is that Mai Chananya Yogena Bhakti Ravya Vicharini. So he has Ananya Bhakti for Krishna. So these are the qualities. And this is Mai Chananya Yogena Bhakti Ravya Vicharini. We'll do this when we come to Bhagavad Gita. He says humility, pridelessness, non-violence. And because by developing this quality, by becoming devotee of Krishna, then yasyasti bhaktir bhagvatya kinchana sarve gunais tatra samasate sura. All the good qualities will develop when one becomes a pure devotee, a kinchana. So here Prabhupada writes in this purport. Let me just find it here. Titikshava. Okay, steadiness and then false ego, all these things. Every quality Prabhupada talks about this. And then he says, okay, I missed it somewhere. Let me see where it says of not much value. Yeah, here. So he says, of all the descriptions of the process of knowledge, the most important is described in the first line of the 11th verse. So these are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 verses, and the 11th verse is this Mai Chanan Yoga. The process of knowledge terminates in unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. So if one does not approach or is not able to approach the transcendental service of the Lord, then the other 9 items are of no particular value. But if one takes to devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, the other 19 items automatically develop within him. And then he's quoting that verse, Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Kinchana. So if you are in the shower, you will become clean. If you are chanting Hare Krishna, and if you are trying to, also we try to simultaneously cultivate also. We make an endeavor to cultivate all these qualities and also engage in devotional service. So, but if you are clean and you are not in the shower, then you will become dirty. So you may be clean, but if you're not in the shower, means you're not chanting Hare Krishna, then automatically, because of the way material world is set up, you will automatically become like if you don't take bath for many days. Even we may be clean now, but if you stop taking bath, then we'll become unclean. So similarly, if you don't bathe consciousness in the holy name, in the Bhagavatam, then it will become unclean. Already it becomes unclean by so many things, but if you don't stop doing it, it will become more. So like that, even though we may be clean, and but if you're in the shower, then eventually you will become clean. So that is what it is. So we take bath, so we have to internally bathe also our consciousness. And Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. This is Sarvatma Snapanam. In the Shikshashtakam it is described, Sarvatma Snapanam. It's like the bathing of the soul. So that we will become clean and become purified. Okay, so that is what it is. At the same time, we cultivate. It's not like we don't have to cultivate. We try. Because these qualities also make one dear to Krishna. Krishna says this, Adveshta Sarva Bhutana, Maitra Karuna Evacha, Nirmamo Nir Ahankara, Samadukha Sukha Kshami. Non-envious nature. But all these things may not be steady without Krishna consciousness. So, okay. According to the Vedanta Sutra, Sambhuta is the source of birth and sustenance, as well as the reservoir that remains after annihilation. Janmadi Yasyataha. Sambhut. I think that's the word used here. Anya Devas Sambhavad, Anyad Ahur Asambhavat. One result is achieved by worshipping. Ahu means it is said. One result is achieved by worshipping the Supreme Lord. And another result, different result is achieved by not worshipping the Supreme Lord. So Sambhavat, Asambhavat means not worshipping the Supreme. So Prabhupada is saying Sambhavat means worshipping the Supreme. Or Sambhuta here is saying. Sambhuta is the source of birth and sustenance, as well as the reservoir that remains after annihilation. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra by the same author. Maintains that the source of all emanations is not like a dead stone, but is abhigna, or fully conscious. So in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described abhigna, and what is the other quality of the Absolute? Is
Swarat.
Swarat. So he's a person and he's independent. So that is what Prabhupada is saying. Maintains the source of all emanations is not like a dead stone. Because we are sentient beings, so how can our source? Sentient means, we have feeling, thinking, feeling, willing, we have desires. How can our source from which everything has come not have any feelings and not have any consciousness? If we have, then that would be makes the source like completely different. So we are not, source is not dead stone, but is conscious fully. Like if you go back, like my father was conscious, his father was conscious, his father was a conscious being. If you go back, you come to Brahma, the first being in the universe. Of course, we can't go back after a few generations, but ultimately Brahma also came from a conscious being, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And that Garbhodakshai Vishnu came from Mahavishnu. And then Mahavishnu came back. If you trace back, you come to Krishna. So the primeval Lord Sri Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita 7:26 that he is fully conscious of of past, present, and future. And that no one, including demigods such as Shiva and Brahma, knows him fully. Because he's infinite. I mean, nobody can know him completely. And he is fully present, conscious. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna, bhavishyani cha bhutani na mam tu vedana kashana. Krishna says, I know everything that has happened in the past. That's why he can give us the results of our karma. If there was no record, nobody knew what we did in our past life, then how can there be results of the karma? From many lifetimes back, Krishna remembers everybody's lifetime and what everybody has done. Incredible, right? Memory. He knows everything about everybody's past life, and not only one life. We can't remember even our one life, right? What I did maybe 20 years ago, I can't remember. But Krishna remembers everything. And that's why he knows also the future. And the question may come whether we have free will or not if he knows the future. If he knows, yes, he may know, but we don't know. So we still have a free will. Certainly, half-educated spiritual leaders who are disturbed by the tides of material existence cannot know him fully. Half-educated. So Krishna can be known only when he reveals himself, or he can be known by his pure devotees. When pure devotees explain about Krishna, then we can understand. That's why we have to not speculate about Krishna, but we have to learn from those pure devotees. Brahma says in his prayers, right? Athapite deva padambujadvaya prasada leshanugrita evahi janati tattvam bhagwan mahimno na chanyo eko api chiram vichinvan. If one is favored by the slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, then one can know Krishna. But if one speculates for a long time, then he cannot know Krishna. So it's better to learn directly than to speculate. So we can ask questions if you don't understand. Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. We can ask questions, but we cannot not speculate. Then they try to make some compromise by making the mass of humanity the object of worship, but they do not know that such worship is only a myth because the masses are imperfect. So they worship humanity like that, all this. But what is the use? Because most people don't know what is the. It's like today we were saying, I'm in a dream state and you are in a dream state. Then how we can help each other get out of the dream? And both of us are dreaming. And we both are, so how can we really get out of the wake from the dream? So we need somebody who's awake to wake us up from the dream. So somebody like Srila Prabhupada, who is seeing God at every moment. He said, yes, I'm seeing God at every moment. So such acharyas can actually give us the right knowledge and guide us. So because the masses are imperfect. So if you worship imperfect persons, then we will not become perfect. The attempt by this so-called spiritual leaders is something like pouring water on the leaves of the tree instead of the root. Yeah, if you just water the leaves of the tree, after some time, everything will dry up because you're not watering the root. If you don't water, that's why there is so much, despite so much, relationships in this world and everything, one may become depressed because if you don't seek relationship with Krishna, then you will not become happy. Because we are only seeking relationships with other leaves. We are leaf and we are seeking, but there is no watering of the root. So the natural process is to pour water on the root. But such disturbed leaders are more attracted to the leaves than the root. Like Prabhupada says, there are 9 holes in the body, but you can't give food through any hole. You have to give food through the mouth. That is the right way to nourish the body. Similarly, the right way to become satisfied is to worship the Lord, to establish a relationship with the Lord. And then, we can also establish relationship with the parts and parcels, knowing that they are also parts of the Lord. So, of course, we say first we have to establish relationship with devotees. Then we can establish relationship with Krishna. Because without knowing from devotees, relationship means hearing from devotees. Without hearing from devotees, we cannot know Krishna. But because they are connected to Krishna, so like that. So we will also know that we have to water the root. And devotee, a real devotee means he engages others in service of Krishna, not in their own service, which Prabhupada will, I think, talk about this. Yeah. He says here, I'm going a little bit ahead, that instead of hearing the activities of Lord Krishna, such pseudo-spiritual masters advertise themselves by inducing their followers to sing about them, not about Krishna. They want to be glorified. So they say you should. So, but that is not the quality of a real devotee. Real devotee means he will engage others in worship of the Lord, not in their own worship. Of course, then we may say, well, we have Vyas Puja, and where we are worshipping the devotees of the Lord, right? So how it is like we are not worshipping Krishna, we are worshipping the devotees. Somebody may say like that. Yeah, but not every day is one day. And of course, we worship the Guru every day in our temple. We have Srila Prabhupada Guru Puja. So we may say, well, the Guru is engaging us in his worship and not in Krishna's worship. How is this? So what would you say?
Prabhuji, like my understanding is we have to, we know Krishna through Guru only. So first we need to approach Guru. So that's why we worship Guru to understand more about Krishna, or to become closer to Krishna.
Yeah, we are showing gratitude and like that. Yeah, go ahead.
So Guru is showing by example, like in the Vashtaka we say, Shivigraha Radhananitana Shingaratan Mandir Marjanado. Spiritual master, he is engaged in worship of Radha and Krishna. He is teaching us by example how to do deity worship, how to read scriptures and preach. And so we are glorifying him in that way, that he's a best representative of a pure devotee that we want to follow. And devotee is higher than Krishna himself. He says what is it Lord Shiva says?
Aratmanam Sarvesham
Aratanam Sarvesham Vishnu Aratnam Tasmat.
Tasmat Parat.
Devotee is higher than God himself, and we should worship the devotees, pure devotees.
Okay. So Krishna likes that his pure devotees, we honor them. But the pure devotees want Krishna to be honored. Also, there is a transcendental competition. So in that way, we can think. Yes.
In
But
one
here,
of Prabhupada's lectures also, Prabhupada says if you wanted to have the attention of any rich man, you have to start loving his kid. The same way, like if you wanted to have the attention from Krishna, so we should have the first attention of the pure devotee who is very dearer to Krishna.
Yeah. And that person should be very bona fide, right? Like, I mean, he's transparent via media. If he passes on the worship that is given to him to his spiritual master, and through the parampara, it goes back to Krishna. So in that way, um, the worship is passed on, right? Sometimes people have this problem that why should there be anybody between me and Krishna? Because God is my father. Why do I need anybody in between? But Krishna has made it like that. So that's why we cannot argue. Right? Krishna has made that you should go to a self-realized person to learn the truth.
Yeah, we give the example of the telescope, right?
Mm.
More mirrors or glasses we have in the middle,
Mhm.
then it makes the picture of Krishna very clear.
Yeah.
So more devotees that we have in our life whose realizations we are hearing, and we have them as Shiksha Gurus, better the understanding that we have of Krishna.
Mm. Yeah, like we have so many pastimes of Krishna and we have so many commentaries by different acharyas, which only enhance our appreciation of Krishna. So they make us more closer to Krishna. Okay, so that can be the answer. Right? Okay. So Ishopanishad, okay, the natural process is to pour water on the root, but such disturbed leaders are more attracted to the leaves than the root. Despite their perpetually watering the leaves, however, everything dries up for want of nourishment. Because you're not watering the root, and everything will dry up. Sri Isopanishad advises us to pour water on the root, the source of all germination. Worship of the mass of humanity by rendering bodily service, which can never be perfect, is less important than service to the soul. So, is the garment more important or the person who is wearing the garment more important? That is the consideration. Is the outer covering more important, like the dress, or is the person who is wearing the dress more important? Like when there is an accident, right? We first ask, did anybody lose their life? We don't ask, was anybody's shirt torn in the accident? Did somebody's expensive dress, did it? So the person is the soul and the body is the garment. So of course, we use this body to serve Krishna. So if the body gets impaired or damaged in the accident, then our ability to serve Krishna is also, kind of there is an obstacle. So body is a tool, so we take care of the body, but more important is the soul. So that is what Prabhupada is saying. Because the body is just like a garment. We have changed so many garments in this life. And similarly, we have changed so many bodies. So this body will also change inevitably. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityur janma dhruvam janma mritasya cha, Krishna says. Everybody has to die. Vashanshi jirnani yatha vihaya. Navani grinati naroparani. Tatha vihaya. Tatha shrirani vihaya jirnani. Anyani sanyati navani dehi. So everybody has to change the garment. But where is the soul going? That's very important. The soul is the root that generates different types of bodies according to the laws of karma. To serve human beings by medical aid, social help, and educational facilities, while at the same time cutting the throats of poor animals in slaughterhouses is no service at all to the soul, the living being. So we should be kind to others. We should help them on the bodily platform as much as we can. But we should also give them the knowledge that they are not the body and they are spirit, soul, part and parcel of Krishna, servant of Krishna. Otherwise, it's incomplete help. And sometimes we help humanity, but we are killing the animals. So Prabhupada is saying that is also not good. So just to give all philanthropic work for the human beings, but on our dining table, we have eat chicken and all this. This is not proper because they are also souls. The living being, so we'll finish this purport. The living being is perpetually suffering in different types of bodies from material miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Krishna says everybody is suffering in this material existence. The human form of life offers one a chance to get out of this entanglement simply by re-establishing the lost relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Lord in the human life. It is possible to connect back with the Supreme Lord and get out of this repetition of birth and death. The Lord comes personally to teach this philosophy of surrender unto the Supreme, the Sambhuta. Real service to humanity is rendered when one teaches surrender to and worship of the Supreme Lord with full love and energy. Because that way you are rendering the full help. We give the story of a person who has a rich man, who has a son. Somebody is lost and somebody gives him clothes, somebody gives him food, but somebody takes him back to the rich man, who is his father. Then that's the best service you rendered. And Krishna can change everybody's karma. I cannot change your karma, you cannot change my karma. But Krishna can change everybody's karma. He's powerful. So he can purify. So the simple way to worship the Supreme Lord in this age of disturbance, Kali Yuga is the age of disturbance, is to hear and chant about his great activities. Yeah. Then we will feel soothing effect. Mad ashraya katha mishra shrinvanti kathayanti ja. Tapanti vividastapa naitan mad katha chetasa. Today morning only we were reading, Prabhupada was saying in the Bhagavatam, if one chants Hare Krishna, he will not be unhappy in any situation of life. Like that, he'll always be happy. So, to hear and chant about is greater. There is another verse. Sudha Sudhara Madhuram Pade Pade Dine Dine Chandana Chandra Shitalam Yasho Yashodatana Yasya Giyate.
Aho aho birna kalervid.
Yes. So there'll be troubles. This is a material world. But if we want to remain, because mind perceives all the troubles, right? As Avanti Brahmana says, mind is the root cause of all the troubles. So we have to free this mind by mantra, by spiritual sound vibration. Then there'll be no more trouble. And that can be done by hearing and chanting about the Lord. Shravanam Kirtanam. The mental speculators, this is the foundation of devotional service. So ideally, we should do more and more Shravanam Kirtanam, and Sparanam will come automatically. The mental speculators, however, think that the activities of the Lord are imaginary. Therefore, they refrain from hearing of them and invent some word jugglery without any substance to divert the attention of the innocent masses of people. So they think that this is not, Krishna is not real, and this is all, false. So what to speak about their activities? So they don't think this is proper. Like today only Prabhupada was saying that people think we are worshipping this doll, deity, there's some statue. We're offering food to the doll, the deity, and then we are dressing and all these things. So it is, and we are chanting the same name over and over again. It is all. So you have to have faith in Shastra, right? That's Shastriya Shraddha. And in the words of the Acharyas, that yes, I have tried my own way, as Prabhupada told Bhakti Charu Maharaj, you have tried your own way to become happy in so many lifetimes, but you are still not happy. So why not try Krishna's way of becoming happy and give one life to Krishna? He said like that. So even if you don't get anything, it's only one out of many. So you'll have another life after this. So give this one life. You have millions of dollars. Can't you give $1 to Krishna? So we have millions of lives, and we'll have millions of lives in the future also if we don't go back to God. But give one life to Krishna and see. So, so instead of hearing of the activities of Lord Krishna, such pseudo-spiritual masters advertise themselves by inducing their followers to sing about them. So instead of chanting and hearing about Krishna, the pseudo-spiritual master, they want to hear their glories. And so they are telling, oh, you tell about my glories. Why are you telling about Krishna's glories? Sing about me, Prabhupada is saying. In modern times, the number of such pretenders has increased considerably, and it has become a problem for the pure devotees. So we have all the anarthas, right? Labh, what is it? Mana, puja, pratishtha. We want followers, right? Everybody wants followers, disciples, right? Everybody wants to. We came into this world to dominate, to control. So in spiritual life also, this can come. We want to control and we want to dominate others and we want to be like the leader. And it can be an anartha. Of course, if you do it as a service, it's not in the right way. It's a service. But if otherwise, it can become like an anartha, because the more the followers I have, the more my glorification will be, and then more I'll become happy by hearing the glorification. So instead of glorifying Krishna, they want this. And they like, if they say you are God. Prabhupada was one time told, right? You are God. And Prabhupada says, kick them out of ISKCON. They're saying the wrong philosophy. They're preaching. So we have come to this world to become God. So it's like, so this is very subtle anartha, right? Subtle desires for love, puja, pratishtha. In modern times, the number of such pretenders has increased considerably. Everybody has opened an ashram. And it has become a problem for the pure devotees of the Lord to save the masses of people from the unholy propaganda of these pretenders and pseudo-incarnations. So Prabhupada says, if you get connected with some wrong, we are fortunate that we are connected with ISKCON. Like, I think Karuna Mataji was saying she was connected with somebody else, some other organization, right? Before. And once you get connected to the wrong thing, then to come to the right thing is very difficult. So a lot of people are associated with, we don't want to say any names, but so many missions are there, this mission, that mission. And then you are in that wrong philosophy for so many years. Now to get you out is very difficult. Prabhupada said that if you know music the wrong way, then they will charge you, the music school will charge you double because you have all the wrong things you have learned. They have to undo all those things before they make you learn the right thing. So we are very fortunate by Krishna's mercy. We came to the shelter of Srila Prabhupada in the right movement, and the right message, Bhagavad Gita, right understanding. So we should consider ourselves very blessed and fortunate. And before others become unfortunate, being captivated by all these other pseudo incarnations, we should go out and preach Krishna consciousness. We should go out and distribute books to save others from getting. That's why Prabhupada says now it has become a problem. And you have to shed gallons of blood to make one devotee, because everybody is affected by this unholy propaganda in this Kali Yuga. So many different. So the Upanishads indirectly draw our attention to the primeval Lord Sri Krishna, but the Bhagavad Gita, which is the summary of all the Upanishads, directly points to Sri Krishna. So Upanishads can have some other messages, but Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of all Upanishads, directly points to Sri Krishna. Therefore, one should hear about Krishna as he is by hearing from Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this way, one's mind will be gradually cleansed of all contaminated things. Srimad Bhagavatam 1-17 says, by hearing of the activities of the Lord, the devotee draws the attention of the Lord. Thus, the Lord, being situated in the heart of every living being, helps the devotee by giving him proper directions. Shrinvatam swakatha Krishna, punyashravana kirtana, ridantasto hi abhadrani, vidhunoti suritsatam. That's the verse. The Bhagavad Gita 10:10 confirms this. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupyantite. If you really want to connect with Krishna, Krishna is all ready to provide you all the intelligence from within. And he will make arrangements that you meet the devotees of the Lord. If you really, really want to connect with him, then he will give you all the facility, because he is very eager to connect with us. Then we are too with him. So, like we say, right, that if your house is dirty and You have a friend who is your genuine friend. If you are cleaning your house and your genuine friend comes, he says, okay, let me help. I will also help you clean the house. But if you have a bad friend come, then he will not want to come inside the house and he will tell all others, oh, how bad his house is. He's so keeping it so unclean. But if you are genuine, Krishna is our genuine friend. Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. So he helps clean everything from our heart. There is no friend like Krishna. So,
I just had a comment. I pasted Prabhupada's words. He's saying that to search out a guru is very nice, but if you want a cheap guru or if you want to be cheated, then you will find many cheating gurus. But if you are sincere, you will find a sincere guru, because people want everything very cheaply, they are cheated. So actually, they say that we don't find guru, but guru finds us. So based on our desires, Krishna will put people in our lives. We should have a sincere desire to understand the absolute truth, the goal of life, and to become, successful in our life. Then Krishna will send. So like Narad Muni was sent to Dhruva Maharaj and all others, right? So, and Krishna's Chaitya Guru will guide us.
yeah. Yeah, if you want to buy a diamond, you have to pay the price, right? If you genuinely want a diamond. But if you want something that looks like diamond, but it's not real diamond, then some person will say, oh, it's the real diamond, take it. It's glass actually. It's not diamond. So if you really, really want the genuine thing, then Krishna will help, right? So that is what. Um, so, yeah. The Lord's inner direction cleanses the devotee's heart of all contamination produced by the material modes of passion and ignorance. Tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayasya chete ete ranavidyam stam satve prasidati. Krishna's inner direction cleanses the devotee's heart of all contamination produced by the material modes of passion and ignorance. That's Shinvatam Swakatha also. Non-devotees are under the sway of passion and ignorance. One who is in passion cannot become detached from material hankering. And one who is in ignorance cannot know what he is or what the Lord is. Thus, when one is in passion or in ignorance, there is no chance for self-realization. However much one may play the part of a religionist, however one may pose himself as a religionist, unless one rises above the mode of passion and ignorance. And how do we rise above the modes? How do we get out of the mode? These modes have like a clutch, like a grip on us, and you cannot get out. So to get out of that, there's only one way, is to engage in devotional service. And with the right consciousness, if you engage, then you will be freed from like so many of you have lost interest in so many things that you were interested in previously. And how did that happen? Because of doing devotional service, associating with devotees. For a devotee, the modes of passion and ignorance are removed by the grace of the Lord. In this way, a devotee becomes situated on the quality of goodness, the sign of a perfect Brahmana. Anyone can qualify as a Brahmana if he follows the path of devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhira Shumbha Yavana Khasadaya Yanye cha Papa Yadapashraya Ashrayaha Shuddhyanti Tasmai Prabha Vishnave Namaha. So these are all different downtrodden races. Kirat, Huna, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhira, Sumba. Prabhupada has given an elaborate description. Oh, this is the Turkey people. This is the Greece people. This is like that, this. And this is that province of the... So these are all the downtrodden, fallen. Of course, everybody's fallen in this material world, but this verse is saying like that. And Prabhupada has given who is Kirata. So, who's Huna? The area of East Germany and part of Russia is known as the province of the Hunas. But now Krishna consciousness has spread everywhere. And of course, India also can be if you are not, it depends on our activities, right? So, Yavana. So, like that. But any low-born person can be purified. Shuddhyanti. by the guidance of a pure devotee of the Lord, for the Lord is extraordinarily powerful. So if we take shelter of the instructions of the pure devotee, we can be purified. Because Krishna can do anything. He can purify anybody, no matter how contaminated. We may think, oh, he's a gone case, or I am a gone case. But Krishna can do anything. When one attains Brahminical qualifications, he becomes happy and enthusiastic to render devotional service to the Lord. Automatically, the science of God is unveiled before him. By knowing the science of God, science of God, when the effects of modes and of passion and ignorance go away, then one is science of God is revealed. Evam prasanna manoso bhagavad bhakti yogata bhagavad tattva vijnanam. Bhagavad tattva vijnanam. Vijnanam in science. Mukta sangasya jayate. By knowing the science of God, one gradually becomes freed from material attachments. Means not sentimentally, but actually, in fact. So, by knowing the science of God, one gradually becomes freed from material attachments, and one's doubtful mind becomes crystal clear. By the grace of the Lord, I think is referring to that. Evam prasanna manaso. One who attains this stage is a liberated soul and can see the Lord in every step of life. Drishta evat manishware. Vidyate hridaya granthis siddhyante sarva sanshaya shiyante chasya karmani drishta evat manishware. And he can see the Lord in every step of life. This is the perfection of Sambhava, as described in this mantra of Sri Isopanishad. Okay, it's 12:30, so we will continue next time, tomorrow, and then we will go through all the verses. So, anybody has any comments on whatever we read?
Prabhuji, like I had one doubt, Prabhuji, regarding these modes of material nature, like mode of goodness, ignorance, and passion. Like my doubt is like here in this verse it says that like we have to uh, get away from mode of passion and ignorance, and then we should be situated in the mode of goodness. But in Bhagavad Gita, I studied that even we have to transcend the mode of goodness also. So I wanted to understand that goodness and then mode of goodness and then transcending that mode also to understand Krishna. So I wanted to understand these things, Prabhuji. Mode of goodness and then how to transcend that mode of goodness also.
Yeah, we'll ask Madan Mohini Mataji to explain. Call. She's there.
Yes, Prabhu, I am here.
You want to answer the question?
Mode of goodness.
So she's saying mode of goodness is better, right? We're supposed to give up passion, ignorance, come to the mode of goodness. But ultimately, we have to also get out of the mode of goodness. So the question is, can you say the question again in short so everybody can.
Like I'm trying to understand like how to like how to transcend the mode of goodness and then the difference between mode of goodness and then transcending the mode of goodness, that state, Prabhuji, that state.
What is the mode of goodness? Is that what you're asking?
Mode of goodness and then transcending the mode of goodness.
How to transcend the mode of goodness?
Yes, Prabhuji.
How to transcend the mode of goodness? That is the question.
And then what is the benefit of transcending the mode of goodness also?
What is the benefit of transcending the mode of goodness? Okay, so who would like to say? So, what is the benefit? How to transcend the mode of goodness to come to pure goodness, like we say Shuddha Sattva. And the second question is, what are the benefits of transcending the mode of goodness? So, who would like to say anything? Sridhar Priya Prabhu or Charuta?
I think like mode of goodness is also binding, so that's why we have to transcend it, right? Like there is still effect of material mode on us.
Is
But
that okay?
how
So we have to
how
translate.
means I offering everything to Krishna, maybe? I don't know.
Anybody else want to share it?
Yeah, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita this verse, Mam chayo avyabhicharin bhakti yogina sevate sagunan samadityetan brahma bhuya kalpate. So this is 1426. When one engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once he would transcend the modes of material nature, come to the level of Brahman. So this is transcendental goodness. So people in mode of goodness, they may not be committing sinful activities. They may be pious, and they would have good karma, so they are very happy in their situation, they're satisfied, but also may have pride of their knowledge and their situation. So mode of goodness does not imply that they're devotees. People may be in mode of goodness, but they're not devotees necessarily. So transcendental goodness means you are devotee, your mind is fixed on Krishna, and so the modes of passion, ignorance would not affect you. Means situations, circumstances in your life will not bewilder you or cause you, happiness, distress, all these dualities.
So before coming to Krishna consciousness, we were like doing all the good karmas. When we do good karma, we feel like, okay, we are doing everything fine, we are following everything. But after coming to Krishna consciousness, we realize that there are more than karma also. That, that we should not think like, always we are doing, we all have a pride inside, so, but that we did not realize. After coming here, we realized that pride was attached with that karma also, right? Something like that, is it?
Yeah, in mode of goodness, Krishna says one becomes conditioned by a sense of happiness and he feels he's better than others. He becomes attached to the knowledge that he has and maybe, yeah, and the happiness. And so he
So
doesn't
before
want to
we were
get
in
out of the
ignorance, right?
material world. Huh?
Before we were in ignorance, that we didn't have that, even we didn't realize about that, we had a pride in that, but now we realize that we had a pride with the good karma.
So as yeah, it was mentioned that mode of goodness, one can be in mode of goodness, but maybe pious person, but he may not be devotee of the Lord. So that is there. So mode of goodness will take you to higher planets, will take you to heavenly planets, Swarga Lok, but you will not get out of the material world. Uh, but mode of goodness is good because it may be considered like a better platform to come to bhakti. But sometimes in passion, because what happens, rajasastu phalam dukkham, you get misery when you are in passion. So in
Mm.
misery, you may turn to God even faster. Then you are in mode of goodness and you're happy and you are enjoying, like you're conditioned to a sense of happiness and nice things. So sometimes, but generally it is said that mode of goodness is the launching platform, right? It's like
Yeah. So
those,
even
those,
some,
those who
even if
seem to
some,
be, go ahead.
sorry. Even if, yeah, so some passionate person, mode of passion, they got some distress in their life and they turn towards Krishna, right? So they cannot come to the level of pure devotion right away. There are steps, right? So coming from the mode of passion, they may rise to the mode of goodness and then come to the transcendental goodness, right? So maybe that's what it means, because it's a step by step ladder to the pure goodness level, right?
Yeah.
Like you give up eating meat and other intoxication and other sinful activities, so then that would bring you to the mode of goodness.
Hmm. Yeah, you stops, yeah, all this bad. And Krishna says, Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. If you acted piously, even materially pious activities, you may become more favorable. Although Janma koti sukritir na labhyate. It is said that even if you do pious activities for thousands of lifetimes or millions of lifetimes, you may not get Krishna bhakti. So, so that's the mode of goodness can also be binding. But if you're in passion and you've suffered misery and then you came to Krishna, then you may get out of that passionate mode. You may come to the mode of, but you know the goal. So you keep serving Krishna, and then there's this verse says, Mamcha Yavya Bicharena. Then you become free even from that sense of happiness in the mode of goodness. You just become transcendentally connected to Krishna. So you are equipoised in happiness and distress of this world. So that is pure goodness, means pure devotee. If you rise above the modes of material nature, that means you have become a pure devotee. So that is pure goodness. You become a pure devotee. The benefit of transcending the mode of goodness is that you become pure devotee, come to pure goodness. Okay. And you know the benefits of becoming a pure devotee. What are the benefits of becoming a pure devotee? Huh?
We can serve Krishna in unalloyed devotion.
Yeah, you'll be satisfied. Because you're pure devotee means you'll perform pure devotional service. And there are 6 symptoms of pure devotional service also. It will give you condensed bliss, and
Yes.
and then Sabe Pumsam Paro Dharmo, you'll become completely satisfied. Ye Atma Suprasidati. And
Klesha
Kleshagni Shubhada, yeah. Moksha Laguta Krit, Sadhananda Visheshatma, and
Shri Krishna
Krishna
Akarshan.
Yeah, Sudurlabha. Sri Krishna Akarshani, you can control Krishna. You can control the one who controls everybody. Imagine that. But that's not the motivation where we want to control Krishna, but automatically Krishna becomes controlled by you. Like Yashoda is controlling Krishna. The one who controls everybody is being controlled by Yashoda or Radharani or his Gopa friends or whatever, like that. So many. So that's all the advantage of becoming a pure devotee. And you will feel very happy.
Yeah. Brahmabhuta Prasanatma na shochati na kakshati.
Ultimate goal is happiness, right? So we feel very happy and joyful. So, okay, I hope that helps and all the
Thank you, Prabhuji. I got the answer, Prabhuji. Thank you.
I copied them.
Anything else you want to say? Anybody? Let's we'll end here. Amarnath Krishna Prabhu is there. Manish Goel.
Yes, Prabhu.
You want to say anything?
No problem. Thank you for the
Thank you.
class, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Tomorrow we'll meet again 8 o'clock.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare